I'm Kat Placencia, an Assistant Director in Residential Student Experience here in housing at Cal Poly. I'm joined today by our 3 faculty in residence. Our faculty in residence are just that, faculty members who support our students right where they live here in campus housing. We rolled out our FIR program 4 years ago as a way of bridging the learning that's happening in the classroom to the learning that's happening in our residential learning communities. Through that time, we've seen some wonderful connections through the program. So we've invited 3 faculty partners here today to talk about the program and the impact that it's had. To start, I'd love to have our faculty in residence introduce themselves.
I'm Nishi Rajakaruna, and I'm a professor of plant biology in the Biological Sciences Department. I'm the faculty in residence in the Yakitutu residential community, and I have been living with first-year students since the program began 4 years ago.
I'm Padma Dorje Maitland, Assistant Professor of Architecture and faculty in residence in Poly Canyon Village, where I've been living for about 2 years now.
So hi, I'm Joni Roberts. I'm an Assistant Professor of Public Health. I'm in the Department of Kinesiology and Public Health, and I live in the Sierra Vista community. I've been living here for almost a year, and I'm very excited to say that I am the first ever female faculty in residence.
So we're all honored to have you here living with us and making connections in our communities. But first, let's talk about what got you interested in becoming a faculty in residence.
In my case, I was raised on a university campus in Sri Lanka and have always lived on a campus or nearby during my time as a student and then later as a faculty member. So it was really an easy decision to make and a fairly smooth transition, I think, to a full-time life on campus. For me, I've always believed and valued faculty-student interactions that take place outside of the classroom setting, and they were really, really important in my own education. So this position gives me so many ways in which I can interact with students and hopefully have a positive influence on their lives.
That's wonderful. Like Nishi, I'm also quite interested in how we build community outside of the classroom and how we kind of provide opportunities to learn and grow together. Again, both inside of the classroom, but then outside on campus. And what does it mean to kind of work together and live together and study together? I've had some great opportunities when I was in graduate school to live on campus, both as a kind of residential advisor, but then also as a student. And I want to be part of making that community here at Cal Poly.
So similar to Padma, I too was a resident advisor in undergrad, and for me it was a unique experience because I migrated from Jamaica and attended private small schools in the US. And so being able to work as part of the residential staff, but also have connections with my faculty and staff members on campus really made my college experience what it was for me. And that continued even through graduate school up until my PhD program. So I wanted to be able to give that back to students, especially students who not from the area, who have left families at long distances and are just not familiar with their new environment.
I love that we have an RA in the house. So what is the day-to-day like when living among the residents, and how are ongoing connections happening?
Well, it is a full life, as you can imagine, right? You start your day with students and you end your day with students as well. You run into students in the laundry room, mail room, along the corridors, and in every other common space you can imagine. So I often run into students with their parents, siblings, and grandparents when they visit, and that's always really special. So over my 4 years as faculty in residence, I've gotten to know hundreds of students and their families, and it is always lovely to see younger siblings of students I've lived with come to Cal Poly and sometimes even live in the same building. And that has been really, really special in terms of running into folks that I'd met while they were visiting their siblings a few years ago.
Yeah, again, like Nishi said, I think there's a really dynamic quality to living on campus, and we're always running into people. I think like you need to like almost film, like start the montage music of a film, and like you wake up and you have your coffee and then you like go outside and the door closes and the birds are singing and it's California, and you run into people and you like shake hands and say hi. I guess we don't shake hands these days, but used to shake hands and like wave, and you know, not every day is like that, but there is a quality of being a faculty in residence where you're kind of running into people and saying hi, as Nisha said, in the laundry room, but also like in the market or just outside. And there's something really fun and dynamic around that, and having conversations kind of continue over days, over months, over years. both in formal and informal ways. So that's been a great part of living on faculty, on residence from here.
Absolutely. I think a big component of the day-to-day is the fact that you are always engulfed in community. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you are always in community, whether you are informally having said community or there's a formal event. It's just the fact that you are constantly surrounded by students and are constantly engaging with students. It's very different from the typical faculty side of things where you sort of come in, go to class, teach, maybe advise, and then go back home. What's great about being here is that you can never escape it, nor would I want to, but it's just lovely to know that you are constantly surrounded by students who are like-minded, students who are longing for a place away from home. And this is their home, right? And you get to experience that with them. You get to experience the highs, the lows. You get to play with their pets if they have one on campus. You get to introduce them to your pets if you have one. So I think the biggest part of the day-to-day is that you're never alone. It's very much a community feel, which is something that's often missed from the day-to-day transition of just academic life.
Yeah, I love the way that you capture the immersive community. I'm glad you wouldn't escape it, even if you wanted to. All right. So can you talk about the ways that you've engaged the communities that you live in through events and meetups? What has the response been like?
Well, during my first year in Yakitutu, which was actually 4 years ago, along with the residents I lived with and the resident advisors, we started two really popular clubs. One was a hiking club and the other was a tea club. So these clubs have grown considerably over the years, even during the pandemic, where we did a lot of our events on Zoom, attracting anywhere from 20 to sometimes even over 100 students every time we meet. So the tea club meets bi-weekly, and it's a great way for students to meet each other after dinner and relax over a cup of tea. So it's very, very relaxing. They just come over, they sit on the couches, they chit chat, talk to me, and just have a very relaxing time before they go back into their rooms and do whatever they have to do after that. So of course, I always try to teach something about the plants they're drinking whenever I get the chance. So I try to sneak in a little bit of botany while they're drinking their cups of tea. So the hiking club also meets bi-weekly, and we explore San Luis Obispo's beautiful kind of natural settings. I mean, we have so many hiking trails around here. So I introduce the students to all of the cool hiking spots in their very first year at Cal Poly. So again, it's a great way to know where you live and also to meet other students, not just first year students, but students from all ages, as well as faculty, staff, and locals who share a passion for the outdoors. So we have a lot of people from outside Cal Poly joining these hikes as well. So recently we've started a cricket club, and it might actually be the only CSU with an official cricket club on campus. I'm really excited about that. And in addition to all of that, I attend all the other ongoing events that the resident advisors put together and housing puts together, as well as the other FIRs put together. Like if Padma or Joni put something together, they let me know. And if I can make it, I always attend those events as well, and figure out ways to get to know my residents better, both in Yakitutu as well as in the other residential communities.
Yeah, it's been really fun to kind of participate in a whole bunch of programs and events, some that I designed and some that others set up. Two that really stood out to me. One was a kind of juggling unicycling workshop that we did. That was a lot of fun and got people from all different houses together. I had unicycled when I was younger, but I learned how to unicycle, and some other people learned how to juggle. So that was a lot of fun. One of the kind of longer term projects I've had is actually related to a project I've been working on called After Hope with a kind of group of 60 international artists. And so over the last 2 years, we've led a series of workshops and events led by those artists from around the world. And most recently, that has developed into a program where students are interviewing those artists for an intergenerational conversation on art, hope, and action.
Yeah, so some of my events, being the newbie to this role, I felt like I had to fill big shoes, like you have Nishi, who's been here since the very beginning, and the famous tea club. Everyone knows about the tea club. So I started with a cooking club because I couldn't compete with a tea club. I couldn't do that. But being of Jamaican ancestry, I wanted to share Caribbean cuisine with students, especially because we live in an area where there's such limited options for diverse food. And it's been very successful. We've done it once a quarter so far, and the club has been growing. We have no less than 60 students show up at a time. And I mean, we're always running out of food. Like, the word spreads. Students are coming from all different parts of housing. And so that's been a great event to continue doing. I've also partnered with Padma on open mic night that we do once a quarter as well. Students really like that. We have a lot of talented students on campus, and they just love coming out and sharing their gifts. And they don't even have to like be singers or artists. We've had students come and share recipes, right? It's been that kind of community building and bonding event, which has been really, really fun. Lastly, I would say that because of my role with sexual health research, I get a lot of requests from students in different student groups to have conversations around sex and sexuality. And so it's really great for me to bridge my research with my housing community. In fact, we're hosting an event tonight with IHC where we are continuing this conversation about sex and how things have changed over time. And so it's been really great for me to be able to host these events and connect with students in a way that I wouldn't in the classroom.
I guess I would just add to that, because I think one of the things that has been really fun is to see how we go from events between colleges, right? And so while we have programs within each college, it's been a lot of fun to partner on events and have students kind of go between Cerro Vista or between Poly Canyon or Yakatutu and find like moments of collaboration that way. The open mic nights have also been amazing from my side. I think partly because I'm very shy and very shy to like speak publicly, which I think many people don't know about faculties, that you can be very shy that way too. And Joni makes sure to make sure I say something out loud and in public. So
That's awesome. Well, I know now I can go hiking with Nishi, learn to juggle with Padma, and then eat some delicious Caribbean food with Joni. All right. So we love hearing that residents are engaged and finding, their place, their thing in our communities. How do you see this program growing in the future?
Well, I mean, I obviously would love to see this program grow, right? I mean, having been the first faculty in residence to come here, and I've always wanted this program to grow, and it will be great if we can at least actually have one faculty member in every residential community. That would be ideal. And even better if these faculty actually represent the diversity of personal and professional backgrounds we see across campus. Like, I think that way students will feel more of a faculty presence in the dorms and have more opportunities to interact with faculty they can better relate to as well. So that's my hope, that we'll continue to grow. Every residential community will have at least one faculty in residence going into the future.
Yeah, same. I'd love to see it grow and become a kind of more integrated part within the university life as a whole. A part of that is to kind of build more pathways between the colleges and departments to the faculty, to the residential programs as well. And I see faculty and residents as playing a kind of important role in that front. I think we're also doing it. I love the idea of certain events happening every year or every quarter and kind of building a sense of, I don't know if tradition is the right word, but a sense of expectation and excitement about those and coming together a few times a year as a big group.
Yeah, your signature events.
Absolutely. So I echo the sentiments that have been shared thus far. I think it's very important for us to have an FIR in every community. It's such an integral part of the process that we have members resided in the communities and being a part of the community. It's not enough to just have a program sponsored by a faculty member, but you have to be entrenched and engulfed in the community. I can't tell you how many times I am exposed to things or I'm able to help students in ways that I wouldn't have had I not lived in the community. So that would be the primary thing, is ensuring that we can have more FIRs live in the community with students. And then also, like as Padma mentioned, bridging that gap between housing and the academy, right? I think right now there's some entities on campus that are aware of who we are and what we do, but we're still quite unknown to the rest of the campus community. And I think that's something that definitely needs to be highlighted and shared. One, so that students are more aware of us, but also our colleagues are more aware of what we're doing and can collaborate with us. I think a lot of the support services are aware of us and connect with us, but what's missing is our own colleagues and department heads and so forth may not know that we're here unless we're part of a college that knows that we are over here. So I think definitely getting the word out and really making a big deal of who we are on campus and bolstering that with the academic side of things to really grow and expand this program.
Absolutely. Well, in the spirit of getting the word out, first, I want to thank all of you so much for joining us today and sharing about the program's impact, not only on your life, but the lives of our students. And we are always seeking new faculty partners to live in residence with our students. So if you're interested in learning more, or you know someone who might be interested, please share this video and encourage them to reach out to us at housing@calpoly.edu. Thank you.